What is going on, Colts Nation? He is Jamal Lawrence, and I'm Eric Smith, your co-host of the Colts Cast. Jamal, how do you build a team that takes you on a deep playoff run? What? How do you do that?
How do you do that? That's a great question. You start by hitting that like and subscribe button. If this is your first time ever coming to the Colts Cast,
Hey,
appreciate you dropping by. If this you oh wow, I can't speak today. If you're a returning listener, I
bah.
appreciate you coming by and blessing us with your presence again. As always, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button. Absolutely free to you all, and it helps us get out to other Colts fans just like yourself. Please drop a comment below, letting us know what you think about this video today as well. So, Eric, getting back to your question, did you say how? How do you
Yeah.
build?
Yeah, because, like, in my opinion, it
Mhm.
starts with, do you have a quarterback or are you a team looking for a quarterback? I mean, you can divide the NFL up just like that. Teams that have a quarterback, teams that don't. It's as simple as that. But, Chris Ballard, he seems to think we have our guy.
Yeah.
Stephen Holder reported that, and I quote, "The single biggest reason the Colts have basically run it back with their roster is because they are convinced Richardson is a difference maker who can help them take a leap.
Ooh.
So that's why he's approached free agency like he has and the way he has. And to some extent, I would say I agree with him. I do think Anthony Richardson is a difference maker. The team is better with Richardson on the field versus someone like Minshew or Ellinger, in my opinion. Everybody, I agree with me. I don't know how you feel, Jamal, but that's a fact in my mind. I think Anthony Richardson adds a new dynamic to this offense when he's on the field. But Jamal, I must ask, what must happen for Richardson to shoulder the load for this team?
That's a great question. And just to first start off with what you said, I do fully agree with what you said. Richardson does elevate this team to a level that Minshew, Ellinger, those guys can't. That let's be crystal clear about that. So I cannot argue about that comment there. And I'll be the first person to tell you, Anthony Richardson got all of us excited last year. Everybody. I mean, from training camp, watching him throw, to watching him to watching him run, to his first official NFL touchdown. Everybody pumped, excited, ready to go. His surgery's done, and he's been seen moving that arm around freely. What better feeling is it to know that we're not seeing that sling anymore on the sideline? Great. Colts organization are seemingly feeling like they can put the weight of the team all the second-year quarterback's repaired shoulder. That's where we got to think about what's going on here. Like you mentioned, Eric, you asked me what pieces to the puzzle kind of have to play for this. Well, I think the first one, most importantly, is the guy who stands right beside him, the guy by the name of Jonathan Taylor. We didn't get a chance to see JT and AR combo last year. We
No.
all know what happened. We had the JT injury at the beginning with the contract disputes as well. And of course, as soon as we get it all figured out with him, Richardson goes down. So we weren't even blessed to see that. But that's where it starts. We have a JT who's coming off of a happy year and a healthy year. Those two things together should mean he's going to be set up for exactly what we need coming in to the next season. Second up, I think it's fair to say Pittman should be ready to play his heart out after getting paid. We all know he got his bag. He got what he wanted. Those are our two offensive threats right there, less our quarterback. So I think with those two people for sure, that should be elevating us and helping Richardson to take this team to another level. Of course, we got to mention the young man, Josh Downs, as well. I think he's going to take it up another notch. I think he'll get utilized a whole lot more across the middle of the field with Richardson there. Of course, he had I know he had the rookie reception, for a record for us here this past year, but I think that he still has an opportunity to elevate this game even more. Richardson back there, and maybe Eric, just maybe, we'll see more Alec Pierce sightings this year. Got a speedster who can get down the field. Richardson has the arm to get there. And I mentioned those four components because those four things are some of the things that should have gotten better or should elevate a little bit more this year to help Richardson take that load of all of the team, offensive side of the ball, on his shoulders there. So
What if there's a fifth element, so a fifth person? So let's kind of talk about the first round draft pick, even second or third. Do you think we need to add someone on offense to help that? Because I mean, from what you're telling me, we got JT, we got Josh Downs, we got Michael Pittman, we got Alec Pierce. I mean, 3 wide receiver set. You got a running back in the backfield, got Anthony Richardson on the center. It makes me think, like, okay, do we even need to spend early draft capital on another playmaker? But
Mm, I
you
can answer that for you right now.
yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely.
absolutely.
Offense, listen, Shane Steichen said it best in his interview just the other day. He said, we need the defense to not allow as many points. We need the offense to score more points. How do you get that done when you have your quote franchise quarterback back in the game? You add more talent to the offensive side of the ball. And I think we have plenty of speedy wide receivers who are fast, who are strong, who can take this thing to the next level for us. So I do think you have to attack that offensive side of the ball. Now, I will say, of course, with what we've seen happen so far out of free agency, where we've seen a lot of cornerbacks leave, we've seen a Julian Blackman have a chance to talk to other teams, even though it's just been reported this week. I believe James Boyd reported it that he is back in talks with the Colts. Doesn't mean anything's ready yet. We still haven't addressed really the defensive side of the ball and what we need. It's
Nope.
so, with that being said, do I think the Colts will take an opportunity to use a first round pick on a receiver, maybe a top notch receiver? I'm still hard pressed on that because I just don't believe it's going to happen with what we have going on. But that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. I it would have to. I don't know. So Colts fans are high on Brock Bowers. I don't
Mhm.
know if the organization is. Like I think did they have a top 30 visit with him?
I believe so. I believe
If
so.
if they did, then yeah, they're doing their due diligence. But we
Yeah.
don't really know. Like, around this time last year, there was smoke that Colts are really high on Will Levis. Like they were sending teams out to his pro
Mhm.
day. Like I just feel like they have to operate in the shadows a little bit. So we just don't have the best idea. I think we have a good idea, especially with good beat writers, good reporters in the Colts community letting us know what's going on. But I I'm not gonna say any names real quick, but 2 weeks ago we had L'Jarius Sneed confirmed coming to the Colts, and like a week later he went to the tight. So
Mm,
look, hey, it happens. It's just like the credibility. I have to take it with a grain of salt. So until I see like it's got
absolutely.
to be an Adam Schefter type report before I say okay, let's get it. Ian Rappaport. But I get where Ballard is coming from. I truly understand his approach, but then again, my man still needs help under center. He does. If both units are operating efficiently, I feel like this team can secretly just fire on all cylinders. They're going to be that surprise team that makes the playoffs. But I'll tell you right now, Anthony Richardson, he can't play cornerback.
I'm
Well,
glad you said it because I was going to say it. I was going to
I mean,
say it.
he probably could with his athleticism, maybe more of a linebacker. I don't know. He could probably fit in as like a defensive tackle, but the point is there's still voids to fill. And maybe, just maybe, Ballard gets it done in the draft and later on with some signings later into the year. I just want Richardson to be as successful as possible, just as much as other Colts fans do. But I am not trying to have another Andrew Luck situation where he literally had to carry the load.
Mhm.
No run game. I mean, Trent Richardson. Do I even have to ring any bells? Horrible offensive line. No offensive line. Even the Maiden Jamal, I got that. I got them Jamal Jenners. Even the Peyton Manning era, I feel like he did a lot of the load carrying without
Mhm.
the right amount of help. Um, Not saying it's getting to that point, but I don't want to end up there with through a bad philosophy, through Ballard's conservative approach. Um, he needs to do something. Now, our division rival, the Houston Texans, they're adding talent around their young guy, CJ Stroud. They're building around him. Daniel Hunter, he was a miss for us. And in most cases, I feel like money does talk.
Mhm.
Not here, because according to Stephen Holder, Hunter was actually offered more money by the Colts than the deal he signed for with the Texans. That usually doesn't happen too often. Again, we don't know how much more. It could have been 1 million more. And if it's only 1 mil, you know, on one hand, Texas doesn't have a state income tax.
Mhm.
Indiana does. So on one hand, you get to play for your home state, play for a defensive minded head coach who took his team to the playoffs year one. and you probably get the same amount of money after Uncle Sam comes in, or you play with Indianapolis. I mean, of course, I would want you to play for Indianapolis, but yeah, you kind of can't beat those things out when it comes to that. So while he was offered quote unquote more money, I don't think it was actually a,
Significant
a
amount.
yeah, enormous
Yeah.
amount of money, in my opinion. Now, I don't know, like extra 3 or 4 million on top. I think he goes in and out. I could be wrong. I don't know, but that's
I
just my
think
opinion.
I think guarantee money has a lot to play in that too. I'd be curious to know what the guaranteed is, because I think that when you know that there's a chance that you may not get all your money on the back end, I mean that would scare me as well. So I think
Hmm.
that definitely probably played a factor.
Absolutely. But look, Anthony Richardson, I think this team, you insert Richardson back into the mix. We were a 9-8 team last year. I mean, we can make conjectures and all that, but I believe that's a double digit win team. I could be wrong, but like Minshew's play was solid, but Richardson's play, like the flashes we saw, I'm only imagining it gets better throughout the season with the first year head coach, with Jonathan Taylor coming back into the mix. I only foresee that getting better and better. And from what we saw, how we played, that's a 10-win team minimum, and that gets us into the playoffs.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, and I really think that when we look back at what Richardson had this offseason to do. I know I've said it plenty of times in other episodes. Maybe he didn't have the opportunity to be on the field making plays, but he had a chance to sit back and actually learn Shane Steichen's system, learn how to watch film better, learn what it's to be like on the next level. So I think all of that pays huge dividends for what's the future to come for him when he gets back on the field. Again, that continuity thing. Yes,
Yeah,
we can all say that all day long. JT should be healthy. Steichen will be even more. He'll be more ready to go in his
be
second year
dialed
as the head
in,
coach.
bro. Like,
Dialed in, exactly. I think the biggest thing, honestly, Eric, that scares me, and it goes back to what you're talking about with Andrew Luck. You know, back then Ballard said we can't make Luck do everything, and then now we're saying that well, Anthony Richardson can shoulder the load. That's fine. But then a few months ago, Ballard said at the back in January, he said we don't want to crown Richardson yet. We don't want to crown him yet. We don't know what all he can do. So I kind of get lopsided opinions about
just say
that.
you hate Ballard, dog. That's
No,
all you gotta say.
I'm just saying. You said back in January we can't crown him yet, but now we're saying in late March that we know he's our guy. We know he's our guy, and we know that he can shoulder the load that we can give him. So but we haven't done all the things in our power to set him up for the most success, because even though we do have all those weapons on the offense side of the ball, we don't need Richardson in there for 9, 10, 12 drives trying to chuck the ball downfield because we're down by 14 points, trying to play catch up. We have to have that defense be consistent to where we are either A, in competition the entire time, or B, in control the entire time. I don't want to see us in a situation where it's just like, okay, well, Richardson has to scramble every play. Richardson has to try to develop a bigger play, make the play develop, has to throw the ball 50 times just for us to just scrape by, So I think those things are
Yeah,
super important to think about.
I agree. They should trade up for Malik Neighbors.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
Oh man, I was watching some stuff from Malik Neighbors on LSU's pro day. Boy, man,
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a dog right there.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm a prisoner of the moment. But
I think we all are.
hey, I but what else we got to talk about, Jamal?
That's honestly it for me, man. I'm excited for it. I'm ready to see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks. Drafts right around the corner, so of course that's going to be the end all be all for us as far as it goes for what we're going to be able to get for the rookies. The free agency will continue to go on. There may be something that'll happen. There may not be something that'll happen. I'm not getting my head held too high over it. We're just going to take life day by day, and like you mentioned, when it pops up and says Schefter breaking news, then I'll react then. But until then, I'm even killed for the time being. That's all I got for us today.
Yep, that's all I got. Let us know what you all think, ladies and gentlemen. As always, if you're on YouTube, drop your comments below. Anthony Richardson, our guy, Jamal's guy, and hopefully he's your guy because he's there for a while. And we hope the best for this team, really.
Absolutely.
Look, that's going to be it for us, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Colts Cast. We're live on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or any platform you use to listen to podcasts. And we'll be back next time to give you some more Indianapolis Colts content. Y'all take care.
Take it easy.